Okay, so it is my real pleasure to introduce today Teang Pao, who is founder of the skincare range Fresk. Now, I've met Tiang through networking events, and actually, I first met her on a course early last year before COVID. And since then, she's become a friend. And I am also crucially using her skincare range, which might not sound like much, but for a frugalista to even get a frugalista using a skincare range is kind of a big deal. And I must say that I just love your product, Yang. It's just really fabulous. And I get so many comments on my skin now. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me, Serena. And it's wonderful to be here. And I'm happy to discuss the whatever aspect that people may be interested in. But I'm be guided by you.
Well, let's start at the beginning. So, why skincare? So, why did you decide to, develop a skincare range?
Well, the reason I decided to develop a skincare range because I got a passion for wanting to live a healthy and natural life. And so I'm a minimalistic kind of person. And so for me, the journey started when I was young, when I pretty much, suffered the, I'm not good enough. And, and I wanted to start it with changing the color of my face, because in an Asian culture, being white is considered beautiful, being olive skin like myself is not. And so I want to be, I want to be accepted by the world. I want to be accepted by my family. And so, I decided that, I wanted to change it to be a little bit more white, but that didn't happen. That left me, with a little bit of skin issues. Like there was a lot of dryness and flakiness, all those kind of things. And so that really, I guess, affected my confidence and my identity as well. And so as I was growing up, I started, of course, investigating natural product. And I've used a well-known Australian brand that's manufactured in South Australia, and it's biodynamic. But yet, when I started using it, it still didn't help with my dry and flaky skin. And so, I was pregnant with my son. And of course, I wanted to go on the journey of, having as much pure not just skincare, but rather food, those kind of things. And then, that's what led me to, I guess, wanting to start a skincare company, because I'm passionate about providing the best quality in the ingredients and not in the marketing or the packaging.
And ingredients and best quality is a key thing here, because as you know, and as I know, a lot of big brands don't necessarily, or I shouldn't single out big brands, a lot of brands full stop don't necessarily have good quality ingredients. And our skin, I believe, is the largest organ in the body. Is that right?
Absolutely. And, but what the skin is designed to do is to prevent harmful chemicals or ingredients that goes into the inside core of your cell. And when you have a weak barrier on the outside, then it allows harmful, ingredients to go into your inside, and that causes like sensitivities. It causes a lot of other issues in terms of, like skincare challenge, like rosacea, eczema, and those kind of things. And so if we don't look after our skin or even research on the ingredients, then it slowly breaks down the barrier of the strength of our outside skin that's meant to design to protect us from harmful chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. And, I know there was a very big brand in the States, particularly, that made a lot of children's product that for many years had ingredients in them that were actually carcinogenic. They've now changed that formula, so I don't believe it does have that. But I used to get so cranky when I was a new mum, because so many well-meaning people would spend a lot of money and give me that product for the baby. And I was like, I don't want those chemicals actually anywhere near my baby. It's a hard call, isn't it? Because a lot of people don't realize this. They just think that brand is a trusted brand that's been around many years, and they don't look at what's actually in things.
The issue I have with that is nurses and mean-welling doctors actually give you these products. And so, you're thinking like, oh, doctors and nurses, I trust them because they know, because they're in the field of looking after us. But in actual fact, if you look and research it, some of the things they're giving to us to put on our precious babies is it's not right. I learned that through the process of having 2 young children. And, the only thing I put on them is my skincare product because I know what's in it. And so, but I'm fortunate that my kids don't have many skin issues at all, because it's a holistic approach to the lifestyle that allows you to have good, healthy skin.
Fabulous. Now let's move on a little bit from there. So you've got this idea, you want to do a skincare range. Now you're not a scientist, you're a normal person. So how did you sort of come up with these? I shouldn't say a normal person, but you know what I mean. You don't have, as far as I know, you don't have a degree in science. So was it daunting to sort of come up with formulas and think about what would work and what would be safe?
Well, that was one of the things that the misconception that you've got to be a scientist and you've got to be a pharmacist to start a skincare brand. But that's not true. The detail is in the research and the findings and the conclusion and what comes down to your values. So that's what I started, investigating. Look, it took me about 2.5 years before I came up with my first recipe that I put it myself to try to start this skincare brand. And, the first time, second time, look, there many flopped, because I try to stay as genuinely natural as possible, meaning that there's no preservative, there's no water, it's a concentrate using only butters, carrier oil and Australian essential oils that are either wildcrafted or in a plantation. So for me, what I want is to have that kind of philosophy or that values incorporated in my product. And therefore it takes experimentation. Of course, I failed in the first number of times, I give it to friends and family. I said, oh, it's grainy, it's not it's moisturizing, but it's actually quite oily, or it's quite, how come it's so thick? How come your cream is so thick and not as not as a good feel as a skincare product in the department stores and those kind of things? And so, as a result of a lot of experimentations, a lot of failure, I wouldn't say the word, but rather learning process. That's how I'd come to develop and accept, some things I can do and some things I can't do, in the sense that the skin feel would be very different, and the way people put on the skincare product is also different. It's an education way of how to use the product so they can benefit their skin, particularly people with dry or sensitive skin that reacts to a lot of ingredients in a mainstream product.
And I guess, the key thing you've talked about there too is the experimentation. It sounds like you've really used a lot of your friends as guinea pigs and you've been learning from the feedback. So not just how you react to the product yourself, but how other people do as well.
Yeah, look, I tested on myself first for a number of months before I started with family and friends. I started with my mother-in-law. She's such a huge supporter, and she's into, clean skincare. And then venture out to giving out samples to friends. And so by the time I started to launch Fresk as a business in May 2017, there's about 100 women already exposed to my product and giving me feedback.
Wow, but it must still have been quite a big leap, right? Because I think you had a stable full-time job before you did all of this, I assume.
Oh, yes. I was in the IT space, flying overseas to implement projects. I had a secure long-term contract from, for an IT department in AusAid. So, it was a leap of faith, but I was passionate, and I wanted, my other value is being at home with my family, raising my children. And that is a foundation of why I wanted to quit my, corporate job after 15 years of doing IT and more in other areas, that I decided to just, jump into it, with I think I was naive, definitely very naive, thinking that, oh yeah, I could do this because I've done the IT and I've done, I've made successful projects, those kind of things. And so it's through being battered a little in the business world that I realized that it takes a lot more than just experience. It takes courage, it takes self-belief, and it takes, the concept of embracing failure to learn and to grow.
Yeah, embracing failure to learn and grow. That is a big one. And but I do want to talk about some of your successes, not just the failures. And one thing that I've really observed about you is, you know, the really innovative marketing strategies that you have employed. So it's not, you know, what you might expect. It's not supermodels in glossy magazines. It's quite a different strategy that you are using. Is that a correct kind of statement?
Yes, so I guess I would like to share some of the strategies that I've started in case it might help the viewers out there. So the first I started with having a founder story video that we've hired a film director who's just so incredibly talented to, I guess, share my story of how it come about. It is a very, I guess, a very true and very accurate story of why I went into skincare, and that in itself is again, it took me a long time to really share that film, that video, but now I'm embracing it a lot more, and I've even entered into competition that won, in short film festival in Canberra. So we won an award for that. So yeah, that's one of the things that I do differently is that, I share my story of whereabout and my values and how it led me to where I am. The other thing
I must say, sorry to interrupt there, but it is an awesome video, and definitely share it here so that people can see it later. It is such a beautiful story, and it's so much more than just the skincare. In fact, I think you are enough, I think is your sort of catch that you've got there.
Yes, absolutely. My skincare product is only a vehicle for me to share my passion. My passion is to make every single woman feel amazing about who they are, complete self-acceptance, and to know that, everyone is unique and special in their own way. There's no carbon copy. And I believe that the world is too crowded for imitators or wanting to be copying others, but it'll hold space for you and your uniqueness. And that is my passion, and that is what I love to do. And skincare is just one vehicle of me trying to share that message.
So it's so much more than just the skincare. If you're looking for something that's going to be promoting an airbrushed sense of pale, beauty, this is not your product. Is that right?
Absolutely. I live, one of my core values is to be authentic in your life, in what you sell. So for me, as you can see, there's no makeup. I use my serum and my moisturizer. That keeps a lasting, the moisturization into it, and also protect from, the wind, the sun, and stuff like that. That when I go out. So for me, it's so important to be authentic to who I am and in my lifestyle, so that that the people that I serve are coming along in this journey. And so, yeah, I don't wear makeup. I wear just skincare on my skin, but I do wear makeup when I go to a special occasion like wedding, those kind of things, but I choose my product very carefully.
So you basically, what I'm hearing here is that you live by your principles.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is so the foundation of why I started Fresk as well, is to share the foundation, to share the values, and perhaps bring people along the way of my journey to, to share the journey, and to share just the values as well of clean living and clean skincare. And I guess I believe deep down is that we only have one life to live. Let's make it the best that we can possibly can.
So much more than just skincare. But coming back to your marketing strategy, you also have something innovative in terms of something that you deliver to people that really represents self-care. So maybe let's talk about the box. What's in the box and what's happening with the box?
Well, there's two ways. I wanted to introduce called the You're Enough box. or the nurture box. And a lot of people, I put it out into the community and a lot of people voted nurture box. And so this concept of nurture box is a physical box that's delivered to your door every 2 months. However, in that box is all handcrafted product, handcrafted skincare that's made by me, handcrafted gift, surprise gift that's changed every 2 months, that's handcrafted by local artists, or local artists in Australia, as well as locally in Canberra or Bungendore or South Coast. And also everything in that box is handmade. The reason why I choose to be handmade or handcrafted, because I want to bring the message that each of you are unique. And each of you's got your own unique qualities and awesomeness. And therefore, I wanted to keep it handcraft, because handcraft, not necessarily every product is exactly the same. And that's why, I don't outsource it to manufacturers, and I do my own recipes. I do my own formulation as well as making the product, because I want to pour out what's my value into the product. There's a lot of love, a lot of time, a lot of care that goes into it, so that the receiver would feel that they are receiving not just the physical things, but the message behind it, and the thought and the care behind the products. So that's what it's called, the Nurture Box, and that's what I've launched in October during COVID, and I've got a number of business marketing strategies that might help people, Serena, if you want me to go through that.
Well, I just want to pause and just talk about the box for a bit, because let me just say, as a recipient of the box, it is just so incredibly beautiful. And also too, I love my handwritten letter that you had in there, and the little gifts. It was just lovely, and the product itself is lovely. The product really lasts and lasts. So Teang doesn't put a lot of fillers in there. There's not like alcohol, and I guess a lot of products have a lot of water and extra things. Like, she's taken all of that out, so it's really quite unique, and it's quite concentrated. And the lovely Marg Lange has said it's a good Mother's Day present. So if you have any Mother's Day present, I know not everyone has mothers in Canberra, but I'm about to buy something for my Mother's Day, so send me some details as well. And anyone who is looking for that, if you've got any special deals, make sure to share them. And Mark also noted, and it's made in Australia. Yeah, not just in Australia, but also local to the region as well.
I just want to also, it's not just Australian made, it's not Australian owned, not just Australian owned, but Australian sourced direct from farmers who are practicing biodynamic or organic, which means they work with the sun, the rain, the soil, that are so important to the end product of the ingredients. So they are sourced direct from farmers. So what my philosophy in life is, I need to help others, and I need to give back in what I do. So what I'm doing is, I'm not only supporting the local artists that are struggling to make their handcrafted, into the world, but I'm also helping our Aussie farmers that are struggling, that are working so hard, that are practicing genuine good principles into the soil, so the end product is actually great quality or premium quality. And a lot of them are cold press. And the lady where I go to the direct farm, is a lot of them started off with having cancer, and they want to have a huge lifestyle change and huge dietary change. And so for me, it's not just about the actual, product, but it's actually what goes into from our supply chain right through to the end product. And that's how I source it. And before I put the ingredients into my product, the farmers get lots and lots of questions that sometimes they get annoyed of me asking. But I believe that if I do the research and do the best thing by my client, then they have peace of mind knowing that my skincare is safe. My skincare is actually, helping them. And it's actually something that can be aligned in the values of, run a business so that you can impact and you make a positive difference, whether to your clients or the people that interact with you. And that's why I choose to work with farmers, because I I understand the struggles that they have, and I also understand the handcrafted artists, how challenging it is to get their craft into the market.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it is a fabulous product. Like I said, I have a nurture box, and it is unbelievably beautiful and just lovely. Like it just brings me so much joy when I use the product. Now, what I wanted to go back and touch on a little bit more about is some of your community building, because I know that's something that you're really big on. It's not just, here's my glossy product. It's not a sort of in the department store kind of product. It's really more about community. And I know you've just done a virtual event. So how does this community building work for you?
So it's a slow process. So, I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook or social media in general, because, in order for me to get the product or my message, my core message out there, I have to be on social media. So, of course, I use social media as one aspect of delivering the content, delivering the message, and showing my face. I originally struggled going, oh, do I really want to be the face of my brand? But I've stepped into that, but also with the community aspect of the ladies that I serve is the face of it as well. They are equally as important as the founder. So for me, some of the strategies to build that community, I run challenges of between 4 to 7 days that allow them to have that connection to me, or who I am, or what I stand for, and what Fresk is all about, but also giving them value in different areas, like anti-aging naturally, or having self-care in their lives. And this is all held virtually with low technology investment. That a lot of business women or entrepreneur ladies can incorporate into the building of the community, but also building their brand and their audience. So I run virtual challenges. I also do incorporate a membership model. The beauty of a membership model is that it's a recurring income for the business owner and for people that are in business, so that if there's anything that happens in whether some sidetrack of an expense or anything like that, that recurring revenue, it allows you to relieve in other expenses as well, and also allows you to, spend on the business of what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about sustainability as well, being a minimalist. So for me, that income goes into improving my packaging to be eco-friendly, that are all recyclable, that I can be break down into your garden. And when using like environmental friendly ink, like soy ink, that minimal printing that happens into the packaging of the nurture box. The other thing is, the wonderfulness of membership is it gives you peace of mind that you have a constant income. Also, it's important to have a mentor. I had a mentor all year, because I was part of this program. And what that allows me to do is to meet every fortnight, and allows me to, always thinking of what I need to get into, like small actions that need to develop in order to come to the bigger goal of me in growing my membership. So that's really important, to have some sort of like guide you and stand behind you, that believe in you when you have some self-doubt moments where you're just like, oh, can I really do this? And my answer is that yes, you can, with the support and the community of people like Serena, who provide a platform that allows us to share our passion. So, and also the other thing is I use funnels. So my husband is an IT guru that loves developing softwares or application, those kind of things. And so he learned from Russell Brunson, which is the leading guy that developed click funnels. And so he's all about music funnels and stuff. And so so we've got all his books, and my husband does his challenges. to also build our online technology expertise and also online sales marketing kind of framework. The other thing I also, moving to what I understand the importance is combining, I've got a physical product, which is the Nurture Box. However, I'm combining, trying to introduce a digital product. So educating women about the ingredients they put on their skin, educating the importance of understanding how it comes about to the end product. How is it grown? How is it processed? Where is it grown? And the values behind the grower and why they choose that methodology over others. So that's one of the things we're going to try and introduce, and also the self-care aspect to it. Like there's a framework that I like to introduce to allow the end goal is for women to feel nurtured, feel great at who they are, and also to have self-care aspect to their routine, particularly mumpreneurs. I know some people might not like that term, but it's basically entrepreneurs that are also mums.
It's a very controversial term, as you know. I was invited to speak on a mumpreneur panel last year, and I put things out on the Joyful Business Club, and it was very interesting. Some people, because I mean, some people are women who choose not to have children. Some people have children and they love their children. They don't define them by it. But then there is also a growing breed of women entrepreneurs who are choosing that path to give greater flexibility while they're also raising their kids. So it's a very contested term.
Yes, it is. But for me, I embrace it and I empower it, because at the end of the day, that's who I am. I'm living authentically to who I am. I'm a very family-oriented person, and I'm also, you know, I like to be stimulated by the business as well. So for me, yes, it's a controversial term. However, but for me, I embrace it because that's who I am, and I want to be authentic to who I am.
Fabulous. Well, I think that is nearly all we've got time for. We have a comment from Marg Lange who said, well done. I helped a lady launch a multi-purpose body oil and offered her to source real ambassadors to be the face of her product, and she thought it wasn't a good idea. But you have grasped this opportunity to use everyday real women to be the face, which will ensure you gain the trust. Stay away from those paid influencers who will rip you off. Thank you, Marg. I know you're really big on authenticity too. And Teang has great credibility, particularly here in Canberra and some of the networking groups that I go to, where everyone speaks so highly of her genuineness, her generosity, and her real care for making a difference with people, which extends beyond skincare.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Serena. I hope I provide value to the viewers. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. You know, DM me, reach out to me about certain ingredients that you might be worried about. I encourage every woman to look at what their product contain and to research, and you'll be surprised at how some of the things that are currently in it that are quite harmful.
Thank you for that. And make sure you provide some links to some of your products, especially if you have any Mother's Day specials. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Serena. Appreciate your time and appreciate you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.